This is a work of art. At first, it's a mess. Some kind of collection of random data that has been dropped onto a canvas like a bunch of dogs with saliva dripping tennis balls. But within that, you can tell the history of seam bowling in the Indian Premier League. And maybe most importantly, it shows you one of the best career anyone's ever had. Each color represents a different length that a seamer with 100 balls has delivered in the last 10 years of the IPL. So these orange ones up near the top, that is the poor guys who have bowled the most full tosses, and they get spanked. The yellow is the bouncer, again another ball that goes for runs. Dark blue is the full balls that go very far later in the games. Purple is back of a length when the bowlers hit the wicket hard, and light blue is your classic good length that still works the best, but sadly seamers can't live on it. What is clear is that each length is more or less clumped together. Sure, it works better for some and not for others, but they all follow a similar pattern. If you start to look with a microscope, you see full tosses are bad, but really not that much more expensive than bouncers, and they also get wickets. Full balls get met too, so if you go for a Yorker and are overpitched, you get hit slightly worse than underpitched, which explains why bowlers are so terrified of trying them. There is a subtle difference between good and back of a length, and it's in the wicket taking. You can see that there is light blue in the front under just a touch of purple. This shows you the similarities and also the huge differences. But within all these pretty coloured dots, the question that must be asked crassly is this: which bowler has the best length?
I love cricket shirts. I own a lot of cricket shirts. But outside of getting dodgy ones off eBay, I've always felt like there was something missing in the market. And I'm not alone. Mystery cricket boxes were started for the same reason. In the old days, it didn't matter as much because we had like 8 different country shirts to buy, all in the same colours over and over again. Now we can own domestic and franchise shirts from all around the world. We can wear the best cricket designs. It's as simple as this. We love shirts and they send them to us worldwide. Mystery Cricket make a product for cricket fans because they are us. They get it. The more of us sign up, the more cool shirts they can go off and find. Many of us want to wear cricket on our chests. Let's back the company that supports that and sign up today.
These are your best full toss bowlers, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but you understand where I'm going with this. It is not something that you want to be good at, but for slow ball bowlers and Yorker specialists, which makes up about 75% of all seamers, it's going to happen. This list is actually quite small, which is quite nice. Lasith Malinga was the early king of this. In fact, for a while, his full tosses were better than many other bowlers when they were hitting the deck. But what I expected here was for Jasprit Bumrah to be dominating this. And while he is good in runs per over, in fact, the only seamer are going at less than 10, you could certainly argue that Bhuvi Kumar and Chris Morris are better, almost as economical, and with a much better average. But I'm assuming this is because both are Yorker specialists, and most of their full tosses are quite low. Yet, T. Natarajan is similar, and he doesn't take wickets and goes for heaps of runs. But there are some other interesting bowlers here. Harshal Patel and Dwayne Bravo. They're very similar. Both rely a huge amount on their slow ball, which also dips really violently. Yet Harshal gets a lot of wickets from his full tosses, and Bravo just never did. Special shout out here for Sandeep Sharma, who for a very accurate bowler can deliver a very high full toss, and they do get hit. Full deliveries was another category that Lasith Malinga used to dominate, but Patarana has taken over that with another similar action. Whether he can keep that up now he has changed how he bowls will be very interesting. Siddharth Kaur had a great record with this delivery as well. Andre Russell gets a lot of wickets but leaks runs, which is, of course, the story of all Andre Russell. Chris Morris and Harshal Patel are near each other again, suggesting they're far closer as nearest neighbours than I would have thought. Bumrah is very economical here, but doesn't take a wicket. Another big-name Indian bowler is more fun, Bhuvi Kumar. He struggles to take wickets more often when he lands the ball than when he doesn't. What sort of weirdness is this? But you'll also notice Deepak Chahar is really something else. You would think that a swing bowler would be better at taking wickets when delivering full, but he's allergic to it. He averages almost 55 bowling full. And why that is so crazy is he averages barely more than 20 when bowling on a good length. That's one giant metamorphosis. When he bowls full, he is a giant beetle. When he hits the magic spot, he's a traveling salesman from hell. Good is the best length to bowl in cricket. With a white ball, with a red one, with a pink one, it doesn't matter. And the numbers show that. The bowlers who have dominated here are usually those without many other variations, but are traditional new ball guys. But the two real standouts are Jasprit Bumrah and Sandeep Sharma. But I want to show two outliers on economy here, Marco Jansen and Umran Malik. They were once the youth movement of the Sunrisers bowling attack. And it turns out that they have something else in common. When they hit a good length, teams tonk them. Umran's is probably from a lack of lateral movement and guile. His length balls are probably more like slot for others. But what about for our giant praying mantis overlord? Is it a lack of bounce on Indian tracks? Lack of a new ball? It actually doesn't really make a lot of sense. But you've lost interest in what I'm saying anyway, because you just want to focus on Sam Curran. Yes, this is truly incredible. The swing bowler should be very good at hitting a good length, but instead, it gets splattered everywhere. Now, some of this might be when he stopped trying to swing the ball and went wobble, but it's not good. But again, it's another one that gets very, very weird because Curran can take wickets when he bowls back of a length. The economy is still quite bad. No one is arguing that one away. But how has Curran managed to be better at digging it in than using his natural skills? Worth pointing out Lungi Ngidi here. He hasn't played a lot of IPL matches, but this is a man who is romantically involved with slower balls back of a length. You know when you play a video fighting game and you don't know what you're doing, so you just spam the punch button over and over again? That's him with slower ones on a hard length. Anyway, this is where we really understand the skill of Bumrah. Many focus on the Yorker or the slower ones, but he can control the strike rate and attack simultaneously, making him like Thanos, but before the time-traveling bit. Prasidh Krishna is really odd for me here. I can only assume he'll fix these numbers as he's finally becoming the bowler he has been threatening to. But this is not what you expect someone who's been bowling so well back of a length this season. But one of the cricketers I wanted to check on was Marcus Stoinis, a bowler who only ever hits the deck. And as far as part-timers go, he's pretty handy at it. When going hard into the wicket, he averages 30 at a good economy. But when he bowls a bouncer, that jumps up to 6 runs more and over. There is a really interesting cluster down the bad end. Mohammad Siraj and Pat Cummins both bowl reasonably expensive bumpers. Right with them, though, is Mohit Sharma. Now, this piques my interest because this year he is bowling them a lot, and it does not seem to be going well. And looking at this, you would suggest that it never really has for him. Short balls are just not his thing. Compare that to Jofra Archer, who has bowled the short one a lot and somehow never goes for runs. Jason Holder and Jasprit Bumrah are also elite here. Kagiso Rabada gets a massive amount of wickets with this ball. But then again, so did Shane Watson. Not sure their bowling gets mentioned that often in the same breath. But there is someone here I want to mention, poor Jaidev Unadkat. The problem with him has never been his talent. In the power play, he is a par bowler over a long period of time. If this was some mythical land where he could only bowl there, he would be a decent option for any team. But he has to bowl in the rest of the match. And when he does, he gets worse the further it goes on. That is because he has no other great options. His slower ball doesn't really do anything. And as we can see here, his bouncer is the worst length for any seamer in the IPL when it comes to runs per over. Not just the worst of any bouncer. I mean, it's worse than any full toss. Sandeep Sharma gets pumped when he doesn't pitch the ball. And yet he has a better average and economy in the IPL than Unadkat's bumper. That's harsh. That means that this poor miscast power play specialist has the worst length delivery in this competition. Deepak Chahar's full ball also says hi. But what about the best? If we ignore some of the low usage bowlers here and wait to see if Patharana can continue to be this good from his full balls, that means we have 2 huge dots down here. That is Jasprit Bumrah back of a length and Jasprit Bumrah on a good length. For the last decade, he has owned the entire middle of the pitch in IPL games, while also being better with his full tosses than Sandeep Sharma is when bowling full. Jasprit Bumrah owns the entire IPL pitch, and let's be honest, being that his full tosses are pretty good, also the air above it. Ross Taylor couldn't see at night or when the clouds were in. Eventually he had to see an eye specialist who would fix his eyesight. In the 2 years before the change, he still averaged more than 50 in international cricket. The top level of batting talent can basically see in the dark. That is who we are talking about in our new book, The Art of Batting. Head over and order your copy today.